be your host, Flub. And, sorry, I'm just getting some settings going right now. Alright, so I will be your host, Flub. And this is a new show that Toffees is trying out with me. And we are basically here to show you guys that if you guys get busy throughout the holidays or something, that we will be here to give you some advice, some catch up. So whether it's holidays, whether it's work, school, family, whatever you have going on in your life, you always have something to come back to, gain a little bit of knowledge, and at the same time, maybe, gain something about like the pro scene, something that you haven't heard about, to just stay updated in general with Dota 2. So this is kind of what we've been doing, what we've been striving to have, and tonight we have a really good show for you. We have multiple different things going on. So without further ado, we're going to go into these topics. So we got Esl One Genting is the first topic that we're going to talk about. Then we're going to talk about the teams that I'm very excited for whenever we talk about the new scene and how people are changing with the new year. Then we got my favorite thing, which I'm going to save until the end, Purge and Day 9 getting together to form a new content. So we're gonna jump into ESL, get you guys updated before the games start here in the next 20 minutes or so. This may contain some spoilers, so if you are wanting to stay completely spoiler free, then you may want to jump ahead about 6 minutes from now. But it shouldn't be too bad. I'm trying to keep the spoilers down to a minimum and just tell you guys generally what the games to look out for and watch before you go see the tournament, or maybe after you've watched the tournament and you're wanting to just get an overview of what the games that everyone has been talking about, or just games that I think are very enjoyable to watch, no matter who you are. They're just great games. So I'm going to break it down by day. So first day, I feel like something that people should have watched is definitely the series of Digital Chaos Gaming and Wings Gaming. They had a very strong series. There was some great games to watch, but the ones that I felt like the one that really shined more than any of the others was definitely the last one. and it's funny. It's how it should be. Like ceremoniously, we should have the end of the day game be that great, right? It's just it's meant to be. The game 3 was just incredible. They had a Ricky. They had so many different options in that game. But the real thing that I have to say about it is that it was an evenly matched game throughout the entire time. So if there's one game that you really want to see Dota at its finest, and people playing at different levels, not different levels, at the same level, at the highest level of gameplay, I really suggest that game to go back and watch before you start off the finals or after. And then day 2, I would have to give it's not even a series that's really best, because personally I kind of felt like there was a lot of blowouts that day. I didn't really enjoy watching them as much that day, which was pretty much today, this morning, as much as the other games. The game 1 for Execration and Warriors Gaming was astounding. I just enjoyed the back and forth there. I really enjoyed the strategies. There was a lot of talk that the announcers didn't like Warriors Gaming strategy. They didn't like the tankiness, or they didn't like how the carries came up. I felt like the carry was actually designed for that role. And I really think that they should take a step back and try to see what they were trying to go for in that scenario, because it actually did work on some level. It was more of a misplay at certain points that really had it, more than the stylized that they were just saying that they got outdrafted. I think saying that things got outdrafted from a pro level is oversaid all the time. And I feel like things that are anything under pro level, any teams that are generally forming, people always say that we got outplayed instead of outdrafted faster. So know the balances and understand what they're saying, and try to listen in because they do know what they're talking about. But I feel like that they were wrong in this area, and I think that if you really watch the game and really analyze it, there's a lot to gain from it. And to move forward, I would say that it was one of the best games you could watch for this whole tournament. Maybe Wings Digital Chaos was probably better actually, but they're neck and neck. Now that we actually have the games going on here in like 20 minutes, those will be DC versus VP and Newbie versus Wings. So those are the ones who made it to the semifinals. Personally, I'm a little bit sad about that. I wanted to see the execution get to the end, but they just could not bring it home this time. I wanted some recompense for the not getting the TI. So the one thing though that I really saw in this tournament was that the heroes being picked was something that I noticed very much, and I always try to stay very keyed in on heroes picked in tournaments because I'm a draft lover and I love drafting. So one of the things that I've noticed is that the meta hasn't changed that dramatically from the last patch. There's a lot of Luna, there's a lot of situations where SD is very good. There's still heroes that shine. I would say that the only hero that kind of has fallen off is Alchemist. Some games so that he was picked up, he just didn't do anywhere near as well in. And that makes sense, because they've changed up the map quite a bit, and the bounty runes give less, and it's kind of harder for him to take advantage of what the bounty runes give, and all that jazz, so that makes a lot of sense. Rubik is still a very popular pick, and it's maybe even gotten more traction just because how important spells kind of have become after this patch. They gain a new importance when they're getting buffed by all of these talents. So if you can get these heroes, you want to get these heroes that get these giant buffs or these things that you can spam spells with. But Rubik doesn't get that advantage on those talents. The thing is, though, he does get the spells, and spell-heavy people are very good to have with Rubik in general. So it kind of is a buff to Rubik to have that, and I feel like the teams are trying to manipulate that aspect and bring what's important about Rubik by using his ability just to say, no, you can't have this hero that has a really good spammable spell because we're not going to have it quite as often, but we're going to have a Rubik, and he's going to use it to the same effect that you are. So I think it's really strong, and it really represents what the patch is. The last thing that really represents what the patch means to these pro players is Meebo. Meebo has been picked up quite a few times, and he's had quite a success rate. And it makes sense. If you really look at what the patch is and what it's developed around, it's about getting to 25 a little bit quicker, and being level 25 being a bigger deal. So if it's a bigger deal for you to be level 25, why not get a character that tries to get there quicker and kind of takes away that farm and experience from your other players, but forms it onto a person that gets these bigger buffs sooner? Now, some can argue that his level 25 is kind of bad. There's not a lot offered there. But this level 20, 15, all those places right there, they're still pretty strong, and having that level advantage on people in this game is pretty huge. Having certain timings too, when you hit level 20 you can push really hard with Meebo, like incredibly hard if you have a decent game. And there's just a lot available to the hero for taking advantage of what the game's setup is. Now, this is something that a lot of analysts have been talking about in general anyway, so it's not something that's it's newer now, but one thing that I want to put the flub spin on it is that I feel like it's stronger because Meebo himself isn't taking away as much experience as he used to be, and now he's still the same hero and he still has the same steal of experience, but with the bounty runes being more available and having the tomes from the last patch integrated into this patch, it kind of makes experience that he steals from people not quite as big a deal. People are still getting their level 6s when they need to get their level 6s, even though they have a Meebo on the team. And that's pretty incredible when you think about it. Having the availability to have a hero like Meebo who just soaks up everything in existence and still being able to get something out of the rest of your team is deadly. So if anything that we've learned from this patch lineup, from this real first tournament coming out of it, is that I feel like Meebo is one of the stronger heroes. And I was under the idea that the whole net not working to stop TPs was a definite nerf. But as long as you have a lineup that can stop TPs, have little interrupts here or there, he is so strong. And it's not because of the earth binding thing, it's because of how you can take advantage of the meta. And that's where the pros shine, is that they know how to take control of the meta, and that's what we need to look for ourselves. So I've talked about the heroes picked in the Esl One, so go enjoy, go watch it. I'll be watching it too. Tweet me about it. We'll talk about my Twitter later, and you can tweet me live things about what I think about picks and things like that. I love doing that stuff, so go ahead and do that. The next thing I really wanted to get into on my list is teams to look out for. There's 3 teams that kind of have newly formed, or like kind of from disbanded teams and stuff like that have been talked about this week. The first team that I would like to talk about is Team Onyx. This is better known as Demon's team, or Jimmy's team. And he's brought together a few different players that I think some of them are fantastic. I really like them. Some of them are very good, and I just don't know exactly how they'll mesh together. It's one of those teams that I feel like with time I'll need to see how they interact, because they have different personalities meshed, and we'll see if they mesh correctly. But if they do and they actually work together, really, if they find that perfect balance, I think that they could become a contender. Their team consists of Mason, Abed, Bulba, and Dubu, and of course Demon. So it should be a really interesting team, something to look out for, and something that I hope does well, because personally I want to see Jimmy do well, because I really like Jimmy. He's a good guy. And actually I like Bulba too. Bulba's pretty cool. So let's move on to Pong Champ. Pong Champ is a new team that's formed by PPD. It's something that people thought it was going to be like Little Geniuses, or Little Evil Geniuses, because it is a PPD team, and obviously, you know, him owning the whole EG side of things, being the showrunner there. But he's kind of like doing this as a side project, so it's not like something. I feel like he's like trying to keep it so that he doesn't upset people within the company, or he's just trying to have some fun on the side, or have something that he can enjoy and still play Dota. Because it's funny, people announce in Dota all the time leaving, and then it feels like once they have left that drug for a year, they got to get roped right back in there, you know. But PPD has got some really big names on it. I actually think that this is a team maybe to look out for. PPD, QO, JO, Chessie, and Boris. Funny thing is, I didn't used to play with JO, but I had a buddy who hung out with JO, and I talked to him when he was on, what was it? It was like Fire a long time ago, or it was an old team, like when he was on Liquid. But that's a little backstory about me. I got too into it. But the thing is PPD, QO, and QO are just incredible players. So JO's a great player. I remember playing with him, and I feel like Chessie and Boris, I don't really know too well, but you know, seeing those other 3 come together, it should be a really interesting team and something to look out for. I feel like the last team, though, is the one I'm most excited about. Syndron's team, new team. He kind of exploded, or didn't explode, but Escape kind of took away their sponsorship, and Syndron formed a new team, and he has a pretty cool team. As someone who was watching HON games all the time, I really enjoyed these guys, and he grabbed like 3 of the old core HON players from like HON Fanatic that people can remember. I know I'm freaking out because I'm HON trash, but you know it's awesome. They got Syndrin, which I love Syndrin. He's one of the best analysts, super smart guy. Hani's great. Koifa, Trixie, and Era. Like all these guys, Hani, Trixie, and Era, all originally from HON. And Koifa's just fantastic Dota player, and Syndrin's fantastic Dota player. So I really hope these guys do well. I really want to see them shake up the scene so bad, and I hope they do. So we're gonna move on from there, though. You know, calm my nerves down a little bit, but to raise them right back up, have one of the favorite things I've heard in like maybe like in a couple years. Purge and Day 9 are getting together to do a Dota coaching session thing, which I mean everyone knows Purge and loves Purge. He's the teacher. He's like the sensei of Dota, and Day 9 is actually the super funny guy. You probably already know about him because I feel like anyone who is on Twitch in general or YouTube just has heard about this guy. But for those of you who haven't, he is a StarCraft He was a StarCraft streamer. He was kind of doing he was the analyst for StarCraft, and he has a lot of different videos. One of my favorites is him playing Amnesia. He's just super funny guy, and someone that I feel like you guys would enjoy if you ever listen to. I think that him and Purge is going to create something so priceless. I am very excited going week to week. Hopefully they'll have like an episode by episode from week to week, because like that is going to be the highlight of my week, I guarantee you. Because man, Purge and Day 9, I'm like kind of like star freaking out, you know, because these guys are great. But I won't take too much of your time. I want you guys to get over to ESL, enjoy the games, and enjoy over there. I want to quickly let you guys know about a new project that I'm doing. I want to start streaming. So any of you guys who are interested in me playing Dota 2, I know there's been people in the past who's asked me to stream. I'm going to start streaming on Mondays and Fridays. So if you guys ever have some time, join me on that. It'll probably be same time, around 9 Eastern. I'm probably going to go until I drop, pretty much. When I have good games or bad games, you know, just have fun on those nights. And I hope you guys can join me for those. I'm going to close out the show, though. I know you guys want to get over to that ESL tournament. So you're going to, for this music background that I've been listening to, and I hope that you guys have heard, tell me not in the comments if you guys had any problems hearing it. I just wanted to have that background noise so you guys that don't have any blank spots, you know, have something to listen to in the background. And it was provided by www.bensound.com, royalty-free music. This is a great place for you if you guys are ever thinking about streaming or anything like that, to look on their site, use their stuff. One of their things, though, is that you have to plug them, so that's what I'm doing right now, letting you guys know. Something that you can do to help us is subscribe to Toffee's Dota 2. Obviously, you guys are here or at Twitch, or if you guys are on our YouTube channel, subscribe there as well. Our YouTube channel is 5 Midas Gaming, and you guys can click subscribe there. You can also, if you guys want to ask us any questions, talk to me in general, let me know how I'm doing on the show. Just let me know about Dota stuff, Dota questions you have. You can send Toffee something, because he generally loves talking to people, or you can talk to me. Toffee's is at Toffee's TV, and I am at Flupdate. And I really enjoy doing this, and I hope that you guys will come week to week, and we'll be able to talk about this more and more. I didn't get any chat wheel this week, but if anyone wants to in the future, you guys can send me messages from the live chat, and I'll save some time, and we will talk about some stuff that you guys want to accomplish, or you guys want me to accomplish for you. So, without further ado, just like last week, I forgot my I forgot to have something. Man, I should have had something prepared. But, you know, life goes on, and I'll catch you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.